Mariners again struggle with runners in scoring position, as I struggle immensely with everything. If you're looking at my eyes here, you might see that they're a little red. I am a bit concussed. I had a little bit of a accident today, where my bus on the way to the county fair uh, T-boned a guy who ran a stop sign. Mariners went 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and honestly, that was probably worse than my experience in a cervical collar at the emergency room because we had to check to make sure that my neck wasn't broken and that I didn't have any brain bleeds after I failed the follow my finger with just your eyes test, which was unfortunate. Moving on to the game, we did see some really cool stuff. We executed a sacrifice fly with Eugenio Suarez, who went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a sac fly today. But the fact that he was able to execute that sac fly is awesome. Um, so in the start of the game, the White Sox didn't score anything in the first, and then in the bottom of the first, the Mariners had a Josh Naylor 2-run home run that scored Cal. It's like, okay, 2-run home run, scores Cal, liking that 2-0. And Curtis Mead scored a run in the top of the second for the White Sox. Then the bottom of the second, Mariners have a couple of players on the base. On the bases, we may actually have the bases loaded at that point. Cal singles. There were 2 outs here, and that scores Dom Canzone and J.P. Crawford and moves Randy to third. And then Julio comes up and hits a 3-run home run to make it 7-1. Then Benintendi scores a 1-run single. Okay. Then at the top of the seventh with Bizzardo out there, Bizzardo gave up 3 hits on 3 runs, or 3 runs on 3 hits, but struck out 2. So what ended up happening is Mike Tauchman got his 8th home run of the season, and that scored Michael Taylor, who had a base hit, and then Lennon Sosa had his 13th homer to make it 7-5. Bottom of the seventh, Suarez executes the sac fly to get Julio in. And then when Mooney comes in the top of the ninth, Michael Taylor homers. So Bizzardo did not get credit for a hold because he did not enter into a save situation. Mariners were up 5 runs, 7-2. Gabe Speier got credit for a hold. He struck out 2. Mooney came in, 1 run, 1 hit. It was earned. Walked 2 and struck out 1. Unfortunately, that walk, those 2 walks, almost came around to bite the Mariners, but also there were some problems with just the umpiring of this game. Julio's strikeout was probably not a strikeout. The ball to me and to EQC Tracer looked to be about 2 ball widths outside of the zone. So really, Julio's final line today was 1 hit, 2 runs, 3 ribbies, and a walk with a strikeout, going 1 for 3. But it really should have been 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Overall, Randy walked once, scored a run off that walk, struck out 1, but did not get a hit. Cal had a hit with a hit, a walk, and a strikeout, and people were complaining about how Cal was doing in the game thread, but he's doing okay. It's just he's not on that, historic season pace right now. So that's a thing. When you're on a historic pace, it's hard to maintain that. Josh Naylor went 2 for 3 with 2 stolen bases. Was it 3? Cal had a steal. Naylor had 2 steals. Polanco had a steal. And Cole Young had his first career steal in the big leagues. 1 hit, 1 walk for Cole Young. JP had 2 hits. And just where JP is in the lineup, going a solid 1 for 3, 2 for 4 every night is just going to get that table moving and going to get people up for the top of the order for Randy, for Cal to drive in, for Julio even potentially to drive in, as like they keep doing the base hits and stuff like that. Polanco walked, went 0 for 3. Dom Canzone walked, went 0 for 3, scored a run. JP scored a run. Cole Young, unfortunately, did not score a run. Our big issues were Bizzardo having a kind of bad start with the 3 hits, 3 runs, or not start, but relief appearance, and 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, leaving 6 on base. The White Sox went 3 for 11. They committed 1 error. It was a fielding error when Josh Naylor reached base on a fielding error, catcher's interference. It was 1-2. He swung, and everybody was like, "What? Why is he trying to go to first base?" It looked like he didn't get hit, and he swung. And if you swing, it's not a hit by pitch. It's a strike, so it should have been a strikeout. But the replay showed that the catcher's glove literally just hit the entire bat and absolutely interfered with the run. And that was just Mariners challenge, and Naylor ends up on first base. And it allows for the Mariners to move and continue the inning, which was really great. Every time the Mariners can extend an inning through another team's mistake, you love that. Anytime the Mariners can extend an inning by doing small ball, by getting a base hit, by getting that like infield base hit, by stealing a base, by moving a guy over. All of those things are good. Executing a sacrifice fly. Wonderful. The big thing is 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Yes, you could say 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position because it is a sacrifice fly. It does result in an out, and it does not result in an official at bat. It's only a plate appearance. So you could say 3 for 8. 2 for 7 versus 3 for 8. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. 2 over 7 is 28%, whereas 3 over 8 is 37.5%. So you can kind of say, like, there's a big difference because it doesn't count as, like, at bat. It makes it look kind of weird, but that's where things like the advanced stats like WRC Plus comes in. Luis Roberts stole second, his 30th base of the year. And then Cal just airballed the ball into the outfield, and he ended up on third. Interestingly enough, Luis Roberts Jr.'s batting average is 219. 219. He was at 170 at one point. So he's 219, but he was like one of the best base stealers in the league. Josh Naylor is 9 for 9 with the Mariners. The game took 2 hours and 53 minutes, and an hour of that was the first 2 innings. George Kirby goes to 7 and 5, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Those ERA to 4.4. The 2 walks, yeah, you're kind of like with George Kirby, you're just like, he's walking a lot of people. But, eh. That's like normal starting pitcher numbers, is you walk 2 to 3 people per game. It's just a thing that happens. The problem here was the Mooney walking 2. We had 14 strikeouts as a pitching staff while striking out 9. The Mariners actually only had 7 hits today while giving up 9. The big difference was we struck out only 9 times while walking 6 times and reaching on that error. So that's 7 extra runners from not getting a base hit, from just working that pitch count. And that's something that the Mariners have gotten really good at. The problem just maintains since the All-Star break that the Mariners have a massive problem with runners in scoring position, and it needs to get fixed. Sure, you can say, technically 37.5%. I'd like that to be more like closer to 40. Obviously, like 6 men run left on base, not the end of the world. We had a lot of base runners. That's a thing that happens. So, overall, it's a positive and a negative thing, but yeah, it's a mess. Julio hitting a homer today, his 21st, a 3-run homer, puts him at 62 ribbies on the season, so I still think he can have a chance at 100 ribbies and 25, 30 home runs for the year. And if he just puts up 25 homers and 70 to 110 RBIs every year with 20 stolen bases, that man is going to be a Hall of Famer. And I'm not going to say the greatest center fielder the Mariners have ever had, because obviously Griffey's there, but that man's potentially going to be a Hall of Famer if he just puts up these numbers. I'm super excited with what Julio can do for the rest of the season.
Don't forget to take some time to follow me on my other platforms. You can follow me at the YouTubes, otherwise linked in my bio, or The Trapezoid Talks is the main YouTube channel. You can book me on Cameo at Sammy5436. Patreon and other paid services platforms are also Sammy5436. You can check me out on Instagram at Sammy54362 and Samantha P54361. And I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky, though I'm not very active there. But thank you for joining me for another video. Plenty more coming up in a moment on the Trapezoid Network.